101 Power Thoughts for Life. The thoughts we think and the words we speak are constantly shaping our world and our experiences. Many of us are in an old habit of negative thinking and do not realize the damage we have inflicted upon ourselves. However, we are never stuck because we can always change our thinking. As we learn to consistently choose positive thoughts, the old negative ones dissolve away. So, as you listen to the following power thoughts, let the affirmations and ideas wash over your consciousness. Your subconscious mind will pick up the ones that are important to you at the moment. These concepts are like fertilizing the soil of your mind. As you absorb them by repetition, you are slowly enriching the very basis of your garden of life. Anything you plant will grow abundantly. I see you vibrant and healthy, surrounded by exquisite beauty, living a life of love and prosperity, filled with joy and laughter. You are on a wonderful pathway of change and growth. Enjoy your trip. My healing is already in process. Your body knows how to heal itself. Get the negative garbage out of the way, then love your body. Feed it nourishing foods and beverages. Pamper it, respect it. Create an atmosphere of wellness. Allow yourself to heal. My willingness to forgive begins my healing process. I allow the love from my own heart to wash through me, cleansing and healing every part of my body. I know I am worth healing. I trust my inner wisdom. There is a place within each of us that is totally connected with the infinite wisdom of the universe. In this place lie all the answers to all the questions you will ever ask. Learn to trust your inner self. As I go about my daily affairs, I listen to my own guidance. My intuition is always on my side. I trust it to be there at all times. I am safe. I am willing to forgive. If we sit in a prison of self-righteous resentment, we cannot be free. Even if we don't know exactly how to forgive, we can be willing to forgive. The universe will respond to our willingness and help us find the way. Forgiveness of myself and of others releases me from the past. Forgiveness is the answer to almost every problem. Forgiveness is a gift to myself. I forgive and I set myself free. I am deeply fulfilled by all that I do. We will never have the opportunity to live this day again, so we want to savor every moment. There is richness and fullness in everything we do. Each moment of the day is special to me as I follow my higher instincts and listen to my heart. I am at peace in my world and affairs. I trust the process of life. We are learning how life works. It's like learning your computer. When you first get a computer, you learn the simple, basic processes, how to turn it on and off, and how to open and save a document, how to print. And on that level, your computer works wonders for you. And yet, there is so much more that it can do for you when you learn more of its ways. It's the same thing with life. The more we learn how it works, the more wonders it performs for us. There is a rhythm and flow to life, and I am part of it. Life supports me and brings me only good and positive experiences. I trust the process of life to bring me my highest good. I have the perfect living space. Our living space is always an outpicturing of our current state of consciousness. If we hate where we live now, then no matter where we move, we will end up hating that too. Bless your current abode with love. Thank it for providing for your needs. Say that you are moving on and that wonderful new people are moving in to take your place. Leave love when you move, and you will feel love in the new place. Before I found my current home, I decided that I wanted to buy a house from people who were in love. Of course, that is exactly what I found. My home is filled with the vibration of love. I see myself living in a wonderful place. It fulfills all my needs and desires. It is in a beautiful location, and it is at a price I can easily afford. I can release the past and forgive everyone. We may not want to let go of old hurts, but holding on to them keeps us stuck. When I let go of the past, my present moment becomes richer and fuller.
Healing from high blood pressure, arthritis, and urinary incontinence by Olimpiada Odinikova from Ukraine, age 70. In 1961, the doctors diagnosed me with arthritis, osteochondritis, and a damaged vertebral disc in the lumbar spine. I had severe pain every day with cramps, weakness, and numbness in my legs. Later, I also became incontinent, was unable to hold back my urine. I could no longer cook or wash. I managed the other housework only with the greatest effort. Additional ailments followed. From 1975 on, I suffered from high blood pressure. At times of crisis, I had readings of up to 250 over 120 milligrams Hg. The side effects were especially unpleasant: headache, nausea, and dizziness. My medication bag became my best friend. My day began with the counting out of tablets and drops. In 1984 and 1998, I suffered severe cardiac infarctions. After that, I had an irregular heartbeat. My pulse would swing between 40 and 120 beats per minute. I could do nothing about it except endure it. An edema developed in my legs. I had constant difficulty in breathing. Thus, I could only walk 20 meters with 2 canes before I had to rest. Everything changed in 1998. In the summer of 1998, I felt especially weak and only wanted to lie in bed. My body felt as if I were clamped in a vice. I didn't expect anything good from life anymore and thought of suicide. I had come to the end of my tether when I learned of the teachings of Bruno Groening. Every day is a new gift. On November the 7th, 1998, I felt the Heilstrom very strongly during the introduction. From that day on, I didn't need any more medication. I received a spontaneous healing from high blood pressure. Since then, my readings have been between 140 over 70 and 145 over 80. My headaches are also gone. My heart rhythm has normalized at 64 to 68 beats per minute. During the following 6 months, the pain in my legs and lumbar spine disappeared. My difficulty in breathing and water in the legs are a thing of the past. Physically fit in old age. Today I can again walk 6 to 8 kilometers at a time. In addition, I do exercises every morning. I can also do my housework independently and without effort. I can even dance and feel younger than I did 30 years ago. Medical commentary. For almost 40 years, as a result of a severely damaged invertebral disc, or perhaps even a herniated disc, she had chronic pain of the lumbar spine radiating into the legs, increasing emotional disturbances, weaknesses, and in the end, even loss of control of her bladder. A further increase in the chronic symptomatology was to be expected. High blood pressure that had existed for decades and which could only be alleviated with difficulty through medication provided the basis for several cardiac infarctions. These led to a pronounced weakness of the heart, difficulty in breathing under exertion, and water in the legs. From a medical point of view, healing of these ailments was no longer to be expected. Experience has shown that such cases usually continue to worsen year by year. From a medical point of view, I can give no explanation for the healings after the introduction to the teachings of Bruno Gröning. One can only speak of a miracle here. BSMD, Berlin. Healing of rheumatoid arthritis. Mrs. DM, age 34, Cologne, Germany. It began with pain in my knee, foot, hand, and finger joints. Then my joints swelled. The medical diagnosis was articular rheumatism, advanced primary chronic polyarthritis. I was prescribed anti-rheumatic preparations like Voltaren, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug, and Protaxon, naproxen. But they only eased the pain. Walking long distances became more and more difficult. Knots formed on my elbows. It was almost impossible to undertake even ordinary everyday tasks. My hands started to shape, and I could no longer lay them flat on the table. In April 1989, 3 months after my introduction to the Bruno Gröning circle of friends, all the knots and swellings started to recede progressively, and my condition continued to improve. Now I can take care of my household once again, and this entirely without pain. There's been no further swelling or pain in my joints, and I can lay my hands flat on the table. I am totally free from rheumatic arthritis. Healing of rheumatoid arthritis. In 1989, I developed rheumatic pains in my knees, hands, ankles, and toes. My hands were also swollen, and the finger joints developed knots. Rheumatoid arthritis was diagnosed, but medicines only helped insofar as they made the pain somewhat bearable. I could no longer work in my profession as a cook. I was introduced to the teachings of Bruno Gröning in July 1991. Immediately I could feel and see an improvement in my hands. Soon afterwards my legs began to improve. A few months later, all the articular swelling and pain had disappeared. Even the knots on my finger joints dissolved. I'm so grateful that I can do every kind of work again without medication. Healing of rheumatic problems. From the age of 14, I suffered from severe rheumatic complaints, and these intensified with age. I had sharp pains in my left arm, shoulder, and hip, accompanied by stiffness. All my doctor could say was, "You will have to learn to live with it. Tablets and injections will only ease it. Finally, I could neither dress nor undress myself, and only get up from a chair with the aid of a stick. I became increasingly immobile. In November 1993, I was introduced to the teachings of Bruno Groening and felt the healing stream immediately. From that moment, the pain began to ease and the stiffness lessened. About 7 weeks later, I was rid of both pain and stiffness. We can do everything again, even help in the barn. We are farmers.